Hey people, Indra here, 53 Faction War. This is Cathari Ruins and Imperial Guard versus the Ordo Malleus for the Blue Guard team. We have two Lord Commissars. This is Hex, Deathcore of Krieg DLC, and Machine Elf. These fellas are melee heroes with strong offense and support. Begin with a refractor shield, can shoot their own fellas in the head. Alongside the Tenso's Lord General, fighting in ranged combat begins with a retinue of Stormtroopers, regional defense and support. Can also add to the retinue. Looks like we got the Catachun's elite scheme here. So they're going to blend into Cathari Ruins. On the red team for the Ordo Malleus, Eversor Assassin number 2456. With an Eversor Assassin, a risk-reward melee brawler that explodes on death, alongside Crazy Chairman 96, rocking a Daemonhunter, a melee spellcaster with strong support and control, and rounding off the team's Dreamzie as a brother captain, a durable hero, walking through objects, cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and support, fighting in melee. All three victory points contested. This is the Southwest. Unable to grab it was Machine Elf. Meanwhile, in the Northeast, it's turning red for the Ordo Malleus, and they may be able to push the power here. Eversor Assassin's gone through. We have some poor guardsmen getting executed by the Lord Commissar, which boosts their damage by 100%, but means they cannot retreat for the duration. Good stomp there from the Sentinel. Can they get a model from the Strat Squad? They can. Perhaps we'll see double power swords from the two Lord Commissars. There's Psychon popped on the Eversor Assassin, boosting his damage and his damage resistance, but you spend health to activate it. Bad news for those guardsmen. He's still in play here, kills another one, and then gets out of it. Purgation on the way for Dreamzie and for Eversor Assassin, and all three guardsman players with a Sentinel into some more guardsmen. Bunch of lasguns there for the Strike Squad. So this should turn blue now. Mid VP's already blue, and contested rec point turning blue here thanks to Hex. Sentinel touching power. Contested power up in the Northeast is red with a node on it, so that's handy for the red team. Got two gens here too. Lord General's going to try and do some bashing. Purgation also on the way for Crazy Chairman. There's going to be a lot of fire going on from these incinerators now. Full gens here. And full gens here. Can they punish these quick gens by getting those purgation through? Doesn't really help them that much against the Sentinel. Flamers aren't great because they're short range and stuff, although only one of the models has an incinerator. The other fellas with storm bolters doing decent work, I think. There's the energy burst to slow down the Lord General. Strike Squad looking for melee. Tomes of Titan in play, of course. There's the Rift Tear from the Daemonhunter to slow things down a bit. It does affect units once they leave the Rift Tear as well, for 3 or 4 seconds, I think. So you can just do a little burst of it and then run in. Lord General gets taken out by some Strat Squad melee and some hotshot lasguns from the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers. Eversor Assassins found a fight. It's one of those Lord Commissars, it's Hex, I think, who must flee. Double Sentinels waiting to stomp, maybe. They both have it available. Seem to be backing off. Maybe they already used it. That Strat Squad is quite low. Eversor wants to push, though. Oh, Catachun's coming in with a grenade launcher barrage. Strat Squad flee. Purgation also flee. Eversor Assassin, though, stays in there. Gets shotgun blasted. Oh, then popped the... Was that hypermetabolism? Yeah, and then runs. So kind of wasted that global there. Brother Captain, meanwhile, has no XP whatsoever. You can do better there, buddy. He's got double purgation up, though, Dreamzie. And they found some guardsmen here, and they are not going to like this fire. Suppressing fire at that. Really bad news for those fellas. These guys can go onto the power now. Mid is turning blue again. Catachun's for both Hex and the Tenso. And double purgation also for Eversor. There's 5 of them on the field already. Crazy Chairman getting some operatives up as well. These guys are not facing with good directions of fire back here. Well, one of them kind of is. Brother Captain not wanting to push alone. Would have just got stomped most likely and sent packing. So I think that was the right call. Purgation trying to take this contested wreck point. More Purgation hiding behind this structure here. Well, what's left of that structure. Heavy bolter coming in. Facing towards this group. Kicking off in the mid, though. Another heavy bolter for the Tenso. Sending the strike squad out of there. These guys taking now a very wide berth around the north. Double purgation is really going to be painful for this blob of guardsmen if they can hit. Heavy weapon squads gets forward a bit. Grenade goes in from the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers. Not sure if it actually hit anything. I'm not sure what this strike squad is doing here still. Dropping a model. Daemonhunter. Not a whole lot you can do there, buddy. Did we see the power sword? No. Oh, we did see it for Machine Elf. Hex spent that power on getting some catechins in, I guess, and then going tier 2 relatively quickly here. There's tier 2 for Machine Elf as well. More purgation for Eversor Assassin. Triple purgation up. Interceptors in play for Dreamzie. Very heavy tier 1s. Really trying to get onto the power aggressively, I think. Purgation splitting and trying to suppress and frustrate the Commissar, who gets a level. And now look at this. Potentially through onto the power with Strike Squad, double purgation and an Eversor. Now these two units here, the Eversor and the Strike Squad, can run interference while the other guys burn stuff down. Looks like Executioner Pistols in. And Hypermetabolism, I think, is active on the Eversor here. Boosting health and energy regen. But making him vulnerable at the end for 10 seconds, I believe it is. One of his globals. Yeah, there's the vulnerability coming in. I think it makes him take 30% more damage. Catechins in retreat path with some grenade barrage action. Now getting suppressed and burned by the purgation, but these guys are very low. Very, very low, this other purgation squad. Down to a single model. Catechins can't quite get into retreat path because they're suppressed. Lord Commissar gets in there and now does have a power sword. Eversor, meanwhile, popped Psychon at some point and went a bit mental. There's the Executioner Pistol again. Doing its thing. Neurotoxin. Slowing down and doing damage over time. And they wipe the Catechins. Well played there. Eversor Assassin Hex. Down to just Guardsmen at the moment. Meanwhile, what else is going on? The Ordo Malleus push through onto this power as well. With double purgation. And a brother captain to run interference. More Catechins on the way now for Hex. Tier 2s for the Ordo Malleus players. And a Manticore on the way for Machine Elf. It is a relatively small map. I mean, if you hang around here-ish, you can hit all the VPs, I think. Although being a relatively small map means that your Manticore is perhaps easier to hit. Interceptors for Dreamzie. Back at base right now. Eversor Assassin lost his Stormtroopers. Triple purgation and a Strike Squad with an Eversor leading them is not easy to deal with. Maybe double Sentinels would have been in the way here for Hex. Typically you don't see a player lean into Sentinels once they've already gone tier 2 though. It's Stormtroopers now for Hex. Looking to maybe outrange the purgation and then punish them with grenades perhaps. And Ogrin's on the way for the Tenso. They did get the other Catechin Devils in. 384 to 391, very even on the VPs. See a lot of triple caps on this map and quick exchanges of VPs because they're all contested and the map is quite small. Some cover going up there. And these fellas capping. In the mid, Daemonhunter grabbing the VP. No war gear for this fella. What about the brother captain? Nope. Lord General does have a medical sergeant, I imagine the medic is in there. Some defensive smoke from the Catechins. Giving, I believe it's suppression immunity and a 50% range damage resistance. It's quite nice. Well-timed grenade there. Hit those Strike Squad pretty flush. Guardsmen getting way too close to the Strike Squad. Ouch, banishment and a bunch of suppressing fire on the Catechin's face. And there's your operatives. They have the fallback plan already. Meaning they drop a flash grenade when they retreat and they can break their retreat, although it's got quite a long cooldown. 332 to 391 on the VPs. Also gives them incendiary grenades, which is handy. There's the Ogrins. Super heavy infantry armor can shrug off piercing and fire damage and stuff. They got heavy melee weapons, and there's the bonehead leader. Getting smacked around though by the strike squad. Stomp comes in. Ogrins took quite a lot of damage there from the strike squad. Neurotoxin will be useful against the Ogrins, of course. We have the Sinskin Body Glove for the Eversor Assassin. More health regen, and Psychon becomes better. 12 seconds instead of 10, and only takes 50 HP rather than 100. There's the Force Rod with Retribution. Takes down an Ogrin with it. Hypermetabolism again for the Eversor Assassin. Is it really cheap? Is it only like 75 red or something? And there's Cybernetic Enhancement for Rapid Reflexes coming in. 311 to 376. Mid is red. Other two. Blue for the guard. Plasma Guardsman here. More Plasma Guardsman here. I'm hearing Catachan shotgun stuff. Terminator Librarian on the way for Crazy Chairman. Is Eversor just going to carry this to tier 3 now with the triple purgation? Maybe. There's quite a lot of firepower and he can respond to vehicles and stuff. These guys with Psy Cannons now. Well, a Psy Cannon. It's good versus all targets. Interestingly, they keep the Flame Decorator apparently there. Well, did they? Oh, I was looking at another squad, I think. I was looking at the fellas that don't have the Psy Cannon over there. I thought I just found a bug, but turns out I didn't. That's a conversion beamer. Might get some hits on the Sentinel, perhaps. Has the Manticore fired yet? It must have, yeah, it has. Got half a bar of XP. Oh, this may be another push through onto the power here for a Dreamzie. Interceptors. Do you have your Justicar, fellas? They do. Gives them a power weapon. Kicking off in northeast. Eversor Assassin trying to fight the Lord General's retinue. Big hit with the Retribution there. Oh, it's got quite good range, eh? Ogrin's in on the Eversor. Psychon is active, so is... Well, this may not be hypermetabolism, that may be the rapid reflex. No, that was hypermetabolism. I don't think rapid reflex gives you the blue hexagon or purple or whatever it is because it's healing, isn't it? Some good passives on this as well. Reducing cooldowns and giving energy and energy regen. Extensive bionics, it says. Big retreat for Dreamzie, but they got a full power bash. Even the node is down. It looks like a Manticore got the retreat going. Sentinel with missile launcher. The Tenso, no missile launcher. Triple cap now for the Ordo Malleus. There's tier 3 for Dreamzie. Hex seems to be looking for the tier 3 then. I thought maybe we'd see some Ogrins here too. Double Ogrins from the two players running at you would be quite difficult to deal with, I think. There's that conversion beamer. Although we do have a Terminator Librarian because Sanctuary would have been a problem for the Ogrins, I suppose. For double Ogrins, it's certainly a problem for one of them. Is it going in? There it is. I think maybe we're trying to use it to save the Strat Squad a few hits, but didn't move forward far enough before he used it there. Triple cap steal for the Ordo Malleus though. Blue team are on the southwest. Those guys, I'm not sure what they're up to. They didn't have a sergeant, so they couldn't be looking for a cheeky grenade. And these guys can't be knocked over anyway because of that shield they get. Pretty handy for a setup squad when you can't get knocked over by stuff. On the power now, or are the guardsmen? We got double plasma guardsmen for the Tenso. What about Hex? Yep, Hex has it. And Machine Elf with double plasma as well. Operatives getting crushed on the way through. I think they're okay. They're okay. Barely made it out, but they did make it out. That was insanely close. Energy burst on the Commissar, which he doesn't like because it messes up his shield. But stubbornness is in play. You get massive heals from stubbornness, but not enough to save him, maybe. Down he goes. 172 to 297. Can they defend this VP? They haven't even capped it yet. Fellas up here, I'm not sure what they're doing, bashing power really slowly or something. Creeping barrage. Looks like it hit the Lord General himself, and this is Dreamzie coming in. The stomp is not enough to save the Sentinel. The Ogryns also go down. That was actually a bad engagement for the Imperial Guard with basically a 3 versus 2, wasn't it, I think? And the Creeping Barrage didn't quite work out super great. Although the Guard did cap the southwestern VP. They need to bash his power. Machine Elf. Meanwhile, Ordo Malleus capping the mid as well. There's a double cap at the moment for the Guard. Manticore Strike going in. Forces off those Purgation. Making it actually quite useful. If they can force off Purgation a lot of the time, that's pretty good. Can they get a full bash here? Come on, fellas. Get it done. No, having to back off. Scary melee's coming in. And there's Psychic Assailment on those Stormtroopers from Crazy Chairman's Global Bar. Boosting range and damage. And there's a big old retreat. Sentinel having to skirt around the edge of the map to avoid the scary plasma gun. Psychic Assailment still active. I think it's 20 seconds or something. Now it's worn off, but there's still plasma guns. Oh, they run into some mines. I think that maybe saved the Sentinel, although interceptors are here. They could teleport again, potentially. That was a little passive teleport. Sentinel tries to stomp and save itself, but in the end it was just the sidearms that got it done. Imperial Guard taking the mid. Lord Commissar of Hex comes to revive the Tenso. Should be a nice chunk of XP there. And they're on the power again. A double cap for the red Ordo Malleus. Purgation in a big old retreat. Eversor Assassin looking for some trouble. Level 5. There's the rapid reflex healing him, I think. Just being used in range stance at the moment, I think. Going into melee. And he's getting suppressed now. And Ogryn's showing up. There's that neurotoxin again. Just on some guardsmen that time. I guess you could use him ranged, because the Cyclone should affect all weapon attacks. Although it's not the most amazing DPS ranged weapon than the Executioner pistol there. Down to 84 VPs to Imperial Guard. Come on, fellas. Heavy weapon squad's going to set up, but interceptors are right there. Maybe set up a little bit too close, fellas. Manticore Strike now. Couple of decent hits there. Oh, heavy weapon squad just wiped, I think. 2-1 for the Ordo Malleus. Didn't have an Inquisitor to stop this aggression. Didn't really have one. I think maybe they should have all got Ogryns up to stop that kind of stuff, because they can disrupt with Use Your Red. Would have counter-initiated things, well, I mean. But then you got to deal with Grey Knight Terminators with your Ogryns. These guys are now Bullgryns with Use Your Shield. 56 to 224. The Grey Knight Terminators are from Eversor Assassin, and there's a Land Raider Crusader for Dreamzie. There's Incinerate. Lifting these guys into the air, doing some flame damage over time. And they're going to take huge amounts of damage from those Grey Knight Terminators with their splash damage power melee halberds. In fact, they almost wiped them out. Hex's Commissar's down. 52 to 217. Sizable VP lead for this amount of VPs remaining. It's a tough amount of VPs to make up on a map like this. And you don't have a natural. Lord General falls. Looks like the Ordo Malleus have done enough here. A whole bunch of Purgation, aggressive use of the strike squads. The interceptors from Dreamzie cause a lot of problems as well down south. Sentinels, maybe, I guess the Sentinels could have been used better. But it's tough to keep them alive. I think they were used decently well. Maybe better usage of the Catechins and more Ogryns, and maybe Primaris Psyker or two, eh? That psychic damage is nice. And of course, Hex did have that really bad fight at the end of Tier 2. When they lost a bunch of stuff. Level 4 Lord Commissar, level 3 Lord General. Level 2 Lord Commissar as well. What about the Eversor Assassin? Level 6 this fella. Level 4 Daemonhunter and a level 3 Brother Captain did have Nemesis Force Sword at the end. There you have it, guys. It was a fast and furious one. Big thanks to these players for taking part in a faction war. The Tenso, of course, putting it together and sending me to replay. There's that Crusader at the end. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.